Welcome in, folks, to a new edition of Low on the Go, your sports fix. I'm your host, Russ Lowe. Week 1 of the NFL season is now in the books, and we're going to take a look at some random observations. 10 observations that will take a look at what we've learned so far. And I know it's a very quick type of thing because, you're looking at the season as a whole, and we're just 1 week in. But these are things that we see right off the bat. They're observations. They could wind up being overreactions. They could be underreactions. That's the beautiful art of this, is taking a look at the things that jump out at you right from the beginning and then running with it and seeing what happens. So let's take a look at what goes on here with NFL early reactions after week 1. And we begin by realizing that Marcus Mariota is going to be a good quarterback, folks. If you followed his career, you know that he had a very substantial career at Oregon. He was a very complete quarterback, very athletic, and didn't make a lot of mistakes that cost Oregon ball games. He's a very efficient and proficient quarterback, and he was able to conduct himself in a great manner while he was there as well, never getting in trouble, never any off-field issues. And Marcus Mariota was always a model football player at Oregon. And, of course, made it to the national championship last year, lost to Ohio State, and that was the crowning achievement of his career. Well, now he's in the NFL, and Sunday, in their first game in Tampa, playing the Buccaneers, wound up throwing 4 touchdown passes and leading Tennessee to a huge 42-14 victory on the road at Tampa Bay. Incredible job, and the poise he showed, and just the tremendous leadership that he is already showing. If you have seen any of that game, you notice that he made pinpoint passes with accuracy that most veterans haven't been able to do, and he's already showing incredible fantasy value, much more than probably half of the league already. Again, he's showing that same attitude of not really making mistakes. He, as a rookie, yes, he's going to make some mistakes, but right now, as far as his initial liftoff, he's done quite well. A victory for Tennessee, and now they will continue on the road at Cleveland in week 2, facing a Browns defense that can be pretty tight at times. So it's going to be another challenge for him. But Marcus Mariota has started out very strong. He's going to be a good quarterback in this league, folks. He'll be worth watching in the years to come. Next up is Peyton Manning, and I think his personal pride may be getting in the way of common sense here, and here's what I'm talking about. Folks, many of us have been a fan of Peyton Manning throughout his college and pro careers. It spanned over 18 years. He's starting his 19th season, but during the offseason, some revelations came about that Peyton Manning cannot feel he doesn't have any feeling in his fingertips. He doesn't have a perfect grip on the ball. Yet in Sunday's game, you could tell he was struggling because he was trying to throw passes over 10 yards and he couldn't do it. He didn't have that perfect spiral spin on the passes that we've been accustomed to seeing from him. It looked like he was laboring for everything that he did. 2 out of 8 passes over 10 yards were completed. The entire offense was affected by this. And yes, the other members of the offense that stand out, Demaryius Thomas, C.J. Anderson, Emmanuel Sanders, they had subpar games as well. But I think it all starts at the top. I think Peyton is really struggling right now. I think this is just something that he's going to struggle with all year. Yes, things may get better. I mean, it is Peyton Manning. You can't doubt the guy deep down, but you have to wonder if things are finally catching up to him. And that's what I'm saying about, his pride. He has the competitive spirit, the drive. He wants to compete, but his body is starting to show the signs of wear and tear of a wonderful career. He's broken records. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been a model citizen on and off the field. He's been what the NFL embodies, the true competitive spirit. But Father Time has never lost a battle, and as glad we are to have been able to watch Peyton's career it's tough seeing these things happen as he starts to begin to shut down. I believe this is going to be his last year only because his body is not going to let him endure any more of the wear and tear that he's already succumbed to. Tom Brady still has it, folks. That's observation number 3. Tom Brady knows what he's doing out on that field. And I tell you what, if you think about field generals, field leadership, people that you want in charge of the 2-minute offense, I would have to think Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are probably the 2 most reliable quarterbacks that I would want in a 2-minute offensive set. If you need a quick touchdown to win a game, those are the gentlemen you go to. And Tom Brady stepped it up. New England was at home Thursday night to kick off the season. They defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he showed that he is still a leader on the field and can still do what is asked of him, to lead his team into victory, to make other players look good, to get them the ball, to lead the team. And that's exactly what he did. Tom Brady is still one of the best in the business, folks. Like him or not, jealous of him or not, he deserves to be playing in the NFL. Someone else that has it is the Buffalo Bills at number 4. I believe this may be the most complete team that we've seen from Buffalo in quite a few years. Buffalo has, over the years, become someone that lost 3 Super Bowls in a row in the late 90s. And now they're coming around, and they've got a total attitude once again. Rex Ryan, very colorful individual, very controversial person at times. He comes in, he leads this team, and his leadership brings these guys together. They know what it takes. I think these players love playing for Rex Ryan. I believe Buffalo wants to do well because of their coach, and they're putting that out. That effort is being put out on the field, and it shows on offense, on defense. Tyrod Taylor has emerged as a great leader of that team. He has shown poise and effort of his own that shows that he's going to have qualities of leadership, as he has won that position just this offseason and is now leading this team. And the dominance their defense displayed in Game 1 against Andrew Luck. You know, naturally, if you think you're going up against Andrew Luck and Indianapolis's loaded offense, you think, okay, we're going to have just a few options here. But Buffalo really opened up the game. Their defense rushed Andrew Luck all game long. He was out of his rhythm. He didn't do very well in passing. And Buffalo picks up the win. Their defense is just extremely dominant. And Buffalo is putting a complete team together. And all I'm going to say is just watch them this year. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can get into the playoffs. It's been a long time for them. They've got a very devoted, loyal fan base, and I believe these people are hungry for a champion. I don't know if they can go all the way, but maybe just starting out, maybe they can get into the playoffs, and that's what you've got to have to get to the big game. So let's see what happens for them. At number 5, the Packers. They need Jordy Nelson. They're not going to have him, of course. He's out for the year. You know, he got the ACL tear right at the beginning of the season. And this has just not been you can see the change in the offense. You can see what it's done to the Packers. They are extremely limited. Case in point, Green Bay defeated Chicago at Soldier Field 31-23 this past Sunday. We're used to seeing Aaron Rodgers accumulate 250, 280, 290, 300 yards in passing. Without the long ball threat of Jordy Nelson, he only had 189 yards passing and had to make up for some of that with 35 yards in his own rushing from the line of scrimmage. That shows me that Green Bay's having to work harder to get the offense, and that means they're having to work harder to score the points. Now, I'm not saying there's not talent there. Of course there's talent there. You've got Davante Adams, who's been an incredible third receiver for the team in the past. Randall Cobb, of course, is still there. He's going to be the primary guy now that Jordy Nelson is out. And you've got James Jones back, who spent 1 year in Oakland and has come back to Green Bay. He had been with Green Bay 7 previous years before the year at Oakland. So this is going to be something to see. To see if Green Bay can get it together and do some things without Jordy Nelson in there. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. Aaron Rodgers is a tremendous leader, and his accuracy is stunning, and his lack of interceptions is even more stunning. In fact, he hasn't thrown an interception at home since 2012, and they face Seattle this Sunday night in Week 2. Should be interesting. Next up, the Eagles and the Falcons will have high-octane offenses. That's my number 6 observation. Wasn't it fun to watch that game Monday night between these two teams? I mean, you just knew that these young quarterbacks were going to come out and just try to really get things going. And Sam Bradford has been very eager. 2 years with an ACL problem, has been out. He's been cooped up, hasn't been able to perform at his best. He comes out and tries to get some things done, tries to lead that offense. Talented young receivers, DeMarco Murray there at running back. You've got Nelson Aguilar, the rookie from USC, as a wide receiver. You've got Jordan Matthews from Vanderbilt, who has emerged as the top receiver now that Jeremy Macklin's in Kansas City. Philadelphia has got some talent. You've got Darren Sproles as a backup running back. You've got Ryan Matthews, who came over from San Diego. He's the number 2 back behind DeMarco Murray. So there's a lot of talent there for Philadelphia. They just have to put the pieces together. And they've already got a mastermind head coach in Chip Kelly. So I think Philadelphia is going somewhere. And I believe Atlanta is definitely going somewhere. Dan Quinn comes over as head coach there for the Falcons, and he used to be the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So he is a defensive-minded coach already, and he has begun to take Atlanta, who had the 30th ranked overall defense last year, and has made them believe. And you could see in that game last night that there was some incredible play by the defense. They play with confidence, they play with certainty, and they get some things done. And Atlanta is emerging on the defensive side of the ball. They were already good offensively. Matt Ryan has been a steadily improving quarterback in his years in the NFL, and Julio Jones has been one of the top wide receivers, and he may very well be the top wide receiver in the NFL this year. So Atlanta's got some offense. You've got the veteran wide receiver Roddy White, and you have a double tandem running back combination now of Tevin Coleman, the rookie from Indiana, and you have Devontae Freeman, who's in his second year. They both showed some explosiveness last night in moving the ball and running it for the Falcons. Watch those offenses this year. Philadelphia and Atlanta are going to be showing some people up offensively. Next up at number 7, Adam Jones and Ndamukong Suh. We've seen some plays that they've been involved in. Ndamukong Suh supposedly accidentally with his knee into the side of Alfred Morris's head when they played Washington this past week. That one could be played off. If you look at the video of it, I could cut him some slack on that one possibly. But what Adam Jones did to wide receiver Amari Cooper, the rookie for Oakland, was really reprehensible, and there's no excuse for it. Adam Pac-Man Jones takes Amari Cooper and basically straddles him on the ground, and his helmet is off, and his helmet is lying under his head, and Adam Jones picks his head up and slams it into the helmet. The league has decided not to do anything to either one of these gentlemen, Suh or Jones, for their actions in this past weekend's games. This is becoming an even bigger joke. You've already got situations in the league where people are frowning upon the decisions and laughing at Roger Goodell for the decisions. Whether you like the decision or not, a lot of people thought Tom Brady's issue was a scandal. You had Adrian Peterson, Ray Rice, Aldon Smith. All of these have been recent off-season issues. This league is showing itself to be a joke under its leader because Roger Goodell does not make uniform decisions. Nothing is going to happen to these two men, and therefore you're going to see these two men are going to continue the exact way they're going right now. Dallas is going to suffer without Dez Bryant. That's to be certain. Des Bryant was the main way of moving the ball for the Dallas Cowboys so far this season. He's hurt. He's got a broken bone in his foot. He's already had the surgery. He's going to be out anywhere. They've said anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks is what I've heard. It's a wide span of time. He could be out any length of time within that range. That's not going to be easy for Dallas to put up with, especially if it's on the longer end of that range, because that means more time without their best receiver, their best player. Who are they going to get to fill that void? Terrence Williams could be someone that steps up and gets more touches. Gavin Escobar, who's been a tight end, who has done the 2 tight end set with Jason Witten, could get more touches. Cole Beasley has been used as a wide receiver at times, and he gets some good yardage. He reminds me a lot of Wes Welker. He's low, built to the ground, and very quick. He can make a lot of darting movements and gain yardage that way. So these guys are going to have to step up in Des Bryant's absence because it's going to hurt Dallas. Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin need to get their heads straight and need to soul search about what they really want to do. The Giants haven't been good since the Super Bowl win over New England, and they've struggled. And it's time for them to decide, hey, are we really here to do this seriously, or are we just going through the motions? Eli Manning made a horrible mistake, as he admitted. He told Rashad Jennings not to score the other night. The Giants had a 23-20 lead over Dallas in the Sunday night game. All they had to do was run out the clock. And after telling Rashad Jennings not to score, inexplicably, Eli Manning decides to throw a pass through the back of the end zone, which immediately stops the clock and gives Dallas time for the game-winning drive. A mistake by a 2-time Super Bowl champion of that magnitude is something that I think he needs to soul search. How bad do you want it, Eli? How bad do you want it now? Are you going to play like a champion, or are you going to make mental mistakes that make people question whether you should even be out there or not? And Tom Coughlin's a whole nother story, because I think Coughlin is just, it's time to go. There needs to be fresh, new leadership for the New York Giants. There needs to be somebody in there that's innovative, creative, that gets some things done, that doesn't look like they're angry all the time, not shouting at the top of their lungs, not pleased with anything that goes on. I think the Giants need a whole new breath of fresh air, and it begins by getting rid of Tom Coughlin at the end of this season, if not sooner. If the Giants tank and they don't play well, they'll get rid of him before then. Chances are they won't, only because he's been there long enough. He deserves to walk on his own terms. But if his terms are 8-8 or a worse record, they'll make him walk. And Seattle needs Cam Chancellor. Pay the man his money. This is the last observation on the list. Cam Chancellor is a safety for the Seattle Seahawks, and that defense is wound around him. Yes, there are other members of the defense. I get that. But Cam Chancellor is the one that brings it all together. He is your anchor member of the defense. Seattle is lost without him. You've got some key games coming up. You're at Green Bay this Sunday night. You need to have the man there, pay him his money, and get him back where he needs to be, anchoring that defense. Seattle is just a monster of a defense when all the pieces are in place. And when you have all the pieces but one, you're not complete. Pay Cam Chancellor his money and get him in there. These are early reactions and observations to the first week. Of course, a lot of these things are going to change. They're going to waver and they're going to move about. We get that. But these are just some random things that we've noticed right after the first complete week of the National Football League. And folks, it's a lot of fun to see if these things are going to continue, if they're going to trend up or down, if they're going to change completely, or if there's going to be more notes and sidebars added to these issues. Some of these issues may last all year. Some of them may change by the end of the next week. It just depends, but it'll be fun and worth watching, no doubt. So those are your observations and the NFL early reactions for this episode. I want to thank you for joining us, everyone. Again, I'm Russ Lowe. I want to remind you to like the videos as often as you can and comment whenever you can. And be sure to remember that you can hit me up on my lowonthego73@gmail.com. If you want to leave some comments, I welcome any of your comments at any time about anything we've discussed on any of the shows. So check them out as you can. Folks, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great one, everyone.